Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War Guild Wars Week 68, Day 5. Gosh, that number is starting to get big. I say that almost every single week, but that's how many Guild Wars have occurred since obviously Guild Wars came out. Obviously it's not every single week like it used to be, now it's once a month, but still a lot of weeks. But anyways, of course we'll be doing Yellow Guild War today. And then mostly messing around with trying to get more Nyshas. We've been doing pretty good this weekend. We have finally got up to 2 medals of Nysha with 1 badge of Nysha with no tokens remaining, meaning that we need 6 tokens of Nysha in order to finally have our max amount of global bonus, which of course is 1 Anu and then 3 of every single other one, with the hardest one of course being the medals of Nysha, given how hard they are to obtain. But that's one of the goals. Don't think we'll be able to make it all the way this weekend, but I still want to try getting at least like 1 or 2 more, maybe even 3 more if we can this weekend. Like try aiming for like another badge, and then hopefully next week clear out the final badge we need for 3 medals. So we'll see how that goes and go from there. Anyways, first things first, Guild Wars, of course. Also saying hello to everyone. Hello! Actually, I can't see chat because I didn't adjust on the other computer. 1 second. Hello, William. Hello, Jellybean. Hello, Isabel. Hello, DeCrail. Hello, Cookie. Hello, T3. Hello, James. Welcome, welcome, everyone. So let me go move this aside. Move that down. Okay. So let's get into this. Right into Guild Wars. It is Yellow Day, so pretty easy day. I say that we're probably going to lose. But Yellow Guild War Day is towards the easier side, mostly because you can pretty much just run the exact same team that they're running. We're going to be running Gorgolfa, Doomed Axe, Divine Ishbala, and a Quillen. Not exactly that team, but it'll still hopefully get it done. He's, oh gosh, that could actually be a little bit annoying if he gets too good of a bunny at the start, but as long as he doesn't get a good bunny, we should be okay for this battle. And yeah, we just use a frontline tank. We have Priest doing all of his thing, giving a lot of yellow. We have actually +4 yellow in total between the banner and the Priest itself, so should hopefully I'll be okay. I'm not sure which way we actually want to go with this. We already have our mana start, so I could probably drop the 20%. We could even just go for more durability, since he might end up entangling us anyways, so just going for the extra life so we don't die might be the way to go. So we're going to go all in life here just to not die. We'll probably change that for a couple of these other battles, but for this particular one, since he has Entangle, I think that will be the better option for now. Don't think we need to change anything else up. It is indeed a yellow day. So let's go and get into it then. Also, if anyone's still looking for a guild, we do still have 2 spots left. So if anyone's interested, if you could do 1 million+ gold and you're around level 1000+, let me know, as we do have 2 spaces left still. Oh, what do we grab here? Let's take a yellow for now. Grab that right in the middle there. Do we have alignment on this? Hopefully. Yes, we do. Good. We got it before he did. Get our yellow. I hope that's everything we need. It should be. This converts purple. Unfortunately, that's not alignment currently. Well, let's go for that. Got the last of our yellow that we need. And that converts the brown to skull. Then that gives us Divine Ishbala. Then that hopefully gives us the other thing. And there goes this entire team. We're almost. It's not over yet. It's getting there. Do we have alignment on this? Guarantee extra turn anywheres. Yes. We do that. Do the whole loop again. We do that one, we do this one hopefully, yes, and then we hopefully have the axe because we haven't gotten a single time yet. Just haven't had the alignment on the board. Now we do, and now we go for the axe, and that's match. And that's pretty much that team in a nutshell, rinse, repeat. It's not as good as using the full team. Basically the way that you're supposed to use the team is the exact thing that he was just using. However, obviously you can't use that exact thing because it uses bunny, and bunny is, doesn't fit the coloration. So unfortunately you can't use that for this day. But the rest of you theoretically could. You could use Divine Ishbala, you could use Quillen, you can use Rope Dart. Though in this context, I felt like Doomed Axe was better than the Rope Dart, which is why I use that. And of course, I usually score Gorgolfa in front instead of the Bunny, just as a frontline tank to protect against stuff like that. Web Spinner could be very annoying. I'm actually going to keep the extra HP just so we can actually take out the Web Spinner, because that's going to be super annoying, triple damage. Luckily, we do have 75% reduction, which will help negate it for the most part. Still a lot of damage nonetheless, though. So let's take yellow here. Yellow obviously is the color we get the absolute most value from. So double yellow right off the sky, really nice. Or a single one off the sky, but you know, we took a yellow and then got a yellow off it. Works out nice. Oh, you reached level 1250. Congrats. Oh, you're currently looking for a guild level 1250. Sure, if you could do 1 million+ gold per week, welcome to the guild. Just let me know what your invite code is. We'll get you in. If anyone else is still interested, we'll have 1 spot left then. Assuming that Gamora is joining us. Okay, let's go for that big Doom Axe. That'll kill out his Web Spinner, which makes this battle a lot easier. Not a win yet, but definitely makes it easier. We'll take this for now just so he doesn't have a follow. Oh, yes, he does have follow-up. I give him all that yellow. Ooh, 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 ooh. Luckily, Gorgoltha didn't die yet. It's about to, though. It's really, really close. I almost feel like doing these 3 explosions just because of how much it's going to chain. I think I just take a Skull, though, and just hope for the best. I don't see... Actually, we get a Skull there, don't we? Oh, no, no. Yes, yeah, we do. Right there. Thought so. We'll get the Divine Spalla then. Throw that into Aquilin. Hopefully we have it on brown or red. No. Do we have it on purple? Yes. So let's do that. And that's match, I think. Does anyone have an extra turn Skull? Or even a double Skull would kill? Does doing this give us a Skull? Or 2 Skulls, I should say. That explosion? No, that's... Oh, wait. No. The way that would explode right there would not. I don't think it would. I almost want to go for it. It's either going to give him an extra turn or it's going to work. I can't quite tell which way. And Divine Spalla can't do anything. I'm just going to do it just to see. Okay, he did. Okay, that's what I thought. Just wasn't sure because of how weirdly it was in that angle there. I wasn't going to spend like a few minutes just to double check. Just for 1 kill. There we go. Hey, Gamora, we'll go get you in a minute. Hello, Analyst. Welcome. Hello, Jack. Hello, Mike. Hello, Cookie. Today was your worst day in your Guild War? Ouch. Yeah, you can have really bad days in it sometimes. I don't think I've ever done worse than 2 out of 3, though. I don't think I've gone 1 in 4. I can't remember if I have. It's very unfortunate getting unlucky like that, though. But it can happen. Yeah, that'll get him cleansed, so we don't have to deal with stun. The fact that he added cleanse to him a while back has been so really useful. He's not like extremely meta like he used to be, but he's still decent. The biggest thing not making him meta anymore is the fact that Mountain Crusher basically outdoes him in almost every single way. It's just in the context of Guild Wars, you don't necessarily always go the Mountain Crusher. Or if you have a different weapon that you might want to end up using, like in these kind of situations. Like, do we have alignment here? It doesn't look like we have free turn. Yes, we do. We have it off of Doom Blade, oddly enough. So we'll do that. Now do we have another follow-up? Hopefully. Yes, we could do Divine Spalla. Then we hopefully have it on brown. Perfect. And then we go get the loop going back again. And we should have that on red somewhere, please. Yes? No? Possibly? No. Let's go clear the board and then go do Doomed Blade into it. So we'll go do this, get the kill, dead. And that's match. Yeah, Gamora, we'll go get you in right now. Oh yeah, that's a problem. I can't copy paste from there into my thing. Oh yes I can. Hold up. I can copy paste over here. Hold up. I can grab this from here. Oh cool, I can still do that. Nice. Copy that. That should work, what I just did. Let's see. You just replaced Bunny with Luna. It kept the board broken up enough to deal with being choked in blue. You just replaced Bunny with Luna. Oh yeah, that could work because you get the extra explosion every single time you take yellow, and you'll be taking a lot of yellows. That would definitely work. Okay, let me go get you in. And if anyone else is still interested in the guild, we do still have a spot left. If you can do 1 million plus gold per week and level 1,000 plus. Let's see. Guild admin. Invite. Oops, I almost said leave. No. Invite. Paste that there. That should be the right one. Exists. Recruit. And welcome to the guild, Gamora. There you go. Yeah, we still have 1 spot left if anyone's interested. 29 out of 30 as soon as he gets in here. Okay. Not the back to Urskea. I was going to say back to Urskea. Not yet. Let's finish out Guild Wars. Where were we? Second to last battle. What is that team? Tracker? Why Tracker? I'm confused by this team. Is there some kind of trick here that's going to just absolutely decimate us or something? I could see if it was maybe creating brown and green. You don't create brown and green though, do you? No, you create green and red. This team confuses me greatly. Why he has that set as his team. I don't understand what he's going for with it. Watch us still lose to it somehow. But other than getting a really lucky Zorn, I don't see what the premise of that team is. I do not understand. Oh, he did get a stun on that, so I guess it somewhat worked. And then we just cleanse it off, and I should probably give him that skull. And then just go to another mana accumulation, because he's not going to kill us with that, obviously. And now hopefully we have alignment. Is the answer yes? Good, we won. And that's match, and now it begins. We just throw that down, we throw the other thing down, then we throw purple thing down, and we should be pretty much win. Do we have free turn? Yes, we do. Grab all that mess, and then we can just go for one of these two. Do we have alignment? No. Yes. No. Possibly. We'll move that for now. Does that give us alignment? Yes, because we could do Divine Ishbala, then we could hopefully do Doom's Blade. No, but we can do that. And then that. And then this, if he wasn't already dead. One more! I have no clue why he ran that team. That is such a weird team that he was just running. That one makes a bit more sense. Like, it's the same general premise, except done way better. Oh no, loading screen. What are you doing? Go, go, go. Go? Hello? What is this? Is my stream still up? Yeah, it is. We're fully connected. Hello, game. Do you want to cooperate? That was a lot of lag for a battle. Okay, alignment. Do we have it? Yes, no, maybe so. No. So we'll take that. Now we have it. And now we won. It's already over. Oh, unless he keeps summoning a billion things. But we should have enough loop that it won't matter. We do that. We do that. We do... Do we do this? We don't have any alignment. Let's see. Which one of these other ones have alignment? Yes, no, possibly. That one does, so we'll just go for that, and then we could hopefully go right into Doomblade. And yeah, he's dead off of Doomblade, plus it's still our turn. And then we still had 2 more hits at minimum, if not more. Or probably 3, because we get 2 extra turn hits, and then we could have probably gone for another. But there we go. And 9,600. 2 9,600 pluses in a row. Both off of Skull Spam teams. Yesterday was Wild Queen Skull Spam, and today was the Divine Ishbala Quillen combo Doom Spam. But both days, solid 9,600 plus. Anything above 9,500 is really good. Anything above 9,600 is absurdly good. And if you somehow get like past or really near 9,700, that's like near perfect. If you can pretty much get 9,700, that's essentially perfect score, realistically. But there we go, nice. So we did lose on one day. However, the other days have been going pretty solid. Other than that one unfortunate loss on the very first day to ruin our 5-0 streak. We might still have the highest score in the guild, though. Close. Alowin, I believe, is the next closest. Who is actually, oddly enough, 28 points ahead of us. Of all things, just 28. That is so close. So basically tomorrow decides who gets Paragon then, between the two of us. Because we are, like, near tied as far as our score right now. He's beating us by 28. That's kind of funny. But if anyone's still interested in joining the guild, 1 spot left. Trying to fill back up. Okay, let's go and kill out all of our dailies. With that, we'll probably go 20% into armor. Just kill them out that way. Get these quick kills over here. We'll need to change that up for the legend, most likely. But let's go change to Rowan for now. That's not the right one. That's the one I'm looking for. And we'll just kill them out that way. Oh, so why am I doing the 20%? I forgot. We have 50% match start. We just go for 3 of them. And just do it that way. And let's go do them then. We'll just take out the first 2 sets and then the first half of the last set. And then we'll use key team for the rest and be good to go. Do you think the devs play their own game? To some degree they do. I know that, what's his name? Probably plays the most of them. Not sure if he still does a lot. But I know he, he's the only dev, I believe, that was a player prior to being a dev for the game. Oh, what's his name? Osbal. Osbal plays a decent amount, to my understanding, assuming he still does. I know prior to him working for them, he played the game a lot. It was a pretty big part of the community. But I feel like most of them probably don't too much. I know Salty pretty much just plays it for work. And she only plays it probably like a few hours a week. I'm not sure how much like the lead developers play it these days. Just because they have been developing the game for like, what, 6 years now? Because you have to keep in mind they were working on it obviously prior to it actually launching. So they've been working on it for like 6-7 years. Let's see. We get the Romaine down. Hello, Kraken. Hello, Stacy. Welcome, welcome. I feel like the biggest issue is a lot of the developers, while they might still play test and everything, none of them play it like a normal player in late game does. Like a few hours a day doing all the optimal grinding and dailies and just knowing what all the mechanics are within the game and how they currently function in the current meta. Because their lack of balance for such a long time, as well as some of the changes they make, makes that a little bit evident. Of course, they don't always rebalance around endgame, but they don't have a good grasp of what endgame currently is, I don't feel like, for the most part. Just because none of them play enough to experience it. Oh yeah, the rest was good. Thank you. Yeah, the tea helped a decent amount. It's just from the constant weather changing. Like, it wasn't anything serious, obviously. It was just like more so like a... Feels like it started a cold. Alright, let's switch to key team. Hello, Moondancer! Welcome. I think some people will quit as of next patch? Possibly. I feel like some people will quit due to almost any patch. Like, I'm pretty sure some people quit when the deeds came out. I'm pretty sure some people quit when what's it called? When, the new token system came out. Like, it'll never always appeal to everyone. But the way that they're currently doing next patch definitely is a little weird. But, we'll see how it pans out once it actually gets launched. I don't feel like it's going to be as bad as people think, but it really just depends on how much they tweak it from how it currently stands. Because it would be somewhat bad if it was released exactly as it is now. But that's almost guaranteed not going to happen. How much it changes is questionable, but it's definitely going to change to some capacity. You found nearly no gnomes in Explore today? I'm at about average rate as far as how we've been doing so far with the gnomes. Let's see. Why do I keep doing Urskeya? I keep doing Urskeya because I keep using the poison quick kill team. And the main reason for that is Urskeya is currently the only kingdom in the entire game with 0 immune to poisons. The only way to possibly get immune to poison in that match is if we get a Mecha Gnome, which has happened a couple times and it slows us down by like a minute or so. But other than that, there is 0 immune to poisons in the entirety of the kingdom, making it a very, very quick farming method. And it also gains anywhere from about 300 to 400,000 gold per hour, which is obviously a pretty solid amount of gold. Am I exploring right now? No, but we will be heading back to it as soon as we finish out the dungeons right now. We'll go finish out dungeon, hand out a redeem code, and then we'll be messing with the token grinding. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, still trying to find those last 6 Nyshas. Hopefully we'll find at least 1 tonight. If not more. We only found, wait, did we find any this morning? We found 1 this morning, right? Pretty sure it was 1. And only 1. Yeah, because we found a Nysha while also finding an Anu. And I believe that was the only one we ended up getting. Though it was a really nice drop. We got a Nysha, an Anu, and a guard all in one chest. Highest value we've gotten so far from a single chest. Still holding up for that double Nysha, though. Eventually. Double Nysha into an Anu or triple Nysha. Triple Nysha, this is statistically, like, near impossible. Not literally, but, you know, it's really, really excessively unlikely. I forget what the exact math is on it, but it's super low chance that you would ever get a triple Nysha. Okay, there we go. Let's go head back to Urskaya. Hey, let me go hand out a code. I said I would hand out a code. Let's go hand out a code. Wait, do I have it on copy-paste? I should still have it on copy-paste. There we go. That should be the right one. There you guys go. That shouldn't be the one from earlier. I don't think it was. That should be a new one. But there you guys go. Redeem code. Use on gemsofwar.com for the game code section. Your invite code is found in the settings menu. Redeem code is right over there in chat. Just copy-paste it into the redeem code section. And give the same reward as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. And only works on the PC mobile version of the game. What's your poison team? What do you mean by poison team? Oh, this poison team. Oh, sorry, my bad. That's the team we're using right now. It's, oh, sorry. No, it's not. I just did the wrong team. Mistakes were made. Let's see, let's go back. That's not the team I wanted. This is my poison team. Thanks for mentioning that. I wouldn't have noticed that for like another 30 seconds. Let's see, I'll grab that. Forgot to switch my team from dungeons. I like how it smoothly transitions though, because we could use Rowain for the earlier battles in the daily adventure board, and then you just switch to key team for the harder battles, and then that key team just runs nicely into dungeons or pets if you had one active at the time. I feel like my guild hasn't gotten too many pets this weekend, but that's mainly because I'm pretty sure most people are farming and explore. I know I personally do. I've activated 0 pets this weekend. Seems like a lot of people in my guild are doing similar. That's the only bad thing about them making Explore so much more viable is a lot less people do PvP in Arena. Oh, I hate when I do that. Casting when they don't have poison on them yet. Oh, I had to actually turn that top 2. Luckily we got off the Cascade. So not going to matter. Does the code work on Xbox? No, unfortunately it does not work on any console version. It only works on the cross-platform PC mobile version. Every other version it does not work for. And the main reason for that is due to policy on other various platforms that prevent them from doing so. They even had an issue with Apple. One of the reasons why the redeem codes are no longer redeemable in the game, like they used to be a couple years back, is because it was against Apple policy. So they even had to change that aspect of it. Luckily, they were still able to do it on PC mobile, including on Apple devices. They just had to modify it slightly. That's one of the reasons why it's not on any of the consoles. There's this policy that prevents them from doing so on the console versions of the game. Who could he sub for Scorpius? There's no replacement for Scorpius. Scorpius is this entire team. Scorpius is generally considered not useless, but rather mid-tier just because it's not really useful for anything other than this. And once it's not useful for this anymore, it's going to be, you know, pretty much useless again. But, yeah, it is really, really good right now. But do keep in mind, it might not be worth going out of your way to get him, because he's only good for one thing, and that's this. And as soon as something else becomes better than this, he's going to become useless again, for the most part. But yeah, there's unfortunately no Scorpius for this team. Or no Scorpius replacement for this team, I mean. Because this whole team is based around him. Your next best bet is to run like Mang into Queen Jezebel, or running Skull Spam, or running instant kill teams like Iron Gut and stuff like that. I'm gonna let him have that extra turn. Oh, never mind, we already won. Of course we'll let him have it. Hello, Drock! Welcome! And another brown red arcane. Pretty sure we almost have 1,000. Not like we need them for anything. Yeah, initial tokens can be really elusive. I do advise getting at least 9 though, to have at least a +4 magic as a utility. Though it does take a very long time to get that many. I think it took us like what, 2 or 3 weeks to get our first 9, or to get our first 9 for a whole medal. 9 tokens, that is. Takes a while. I feel like it would take the average player about 1 per month. And this patch has been out for about a month. So anyone who's at like 1 Nysha, full Nysha medal right now, I'd say is probably at about average rate of how many are in the game. Though one slightly good thing about next patch is you will get one, assuming that's, it depends how much gold it is, but if you're later in the game and your guild has the gold to do it, if it is still set up in that way, it will be possible to get your guild 1 Nysha medal every 9 weeks. However, that will be really expensive to do so, regardless of how they rescale it. Or if they make it mandatory or not mandatory for legendary tasks. Also, if they do end up making it mandatory for legendary tasks, they really need to buff legendary tasks. If they are, like, adamantly going to go down that route. Was the code for another Nysha or Valky? Neither. The code was because it was about the halfway point. I normally do it on Guild War weeks after we finish out the events, or pretty much any week when we finish out the event. Finish out the event, finish out the dailies, and I normally give out the code. Because more often than not, that's like halfway through the stream. But not always. Like this time it was a little bit earlier than halfway through. We'll go through that down. But no, we didn't get anything of value so far to stream. Not yet anyways. Hopefully we will. We had a good Guild War though, 9,600 score. But no good luck off of loot today. Or later today, I should say, on this stream. This morning wasn't too bad. We got like 4 or 5 Anus, and we got a Nysha. We also got the Valky. Of course, the rate of us getting Valkys is a little bit lower than it would normally be, because I'm not doing the quick method for Explorer, I'm doing the token farming method. And the token farming method, while it will give us a lot of tokens, is slightly slower for gnomes. It's not really too big a deal, because every single drop gnomes have, we have to a good capacity. I just want to get even more of it just so we can replenish it. You know, like more gems, more gem keys, more other similar resources related to that, more glory. It's basically the equivalent of gems indirectly. Or it's basically indirectly gem keys, which is indirectly gems, savings. I have been feeling a little bit better, thanks for asking. I think it was just a combination of lack of rest and the weather. Come on, you got this game. Has anyone else been having this lag, or is it something on my end? Because it keeps wanting to do like a 10-15 second lag on some screens occasionally. Like it doesn't lag at all for like most battles, but then it just like for whatever reason decides to lag for a little bit. It's kind of weird. Yep, nothing good in there. Okay, we'll get explosion everywhere. Could always be because more people are playing this weekend. I never did bother looking that up again. I haven't looked it up for ages. How many people have been playing recently? Let's see. Stream charts, I believe is called. Is that it? I believe this is Steam charts. Where to go? Gems of War. Gems of War. I haven't looked this up for ages. The game is actually growing right now. Wow, they have had to grow for so long. There's like dips in it occasionally, but they weren't kidding when they said that this game has like perpetually grown over time. I remember playing when it was in the 4-digit numbers. But yeah, when it launched, it was at like, it's kind of funny because most games get like a really big launch and then they die down. One really odd thing about Gems of War is it had like a okay-ish launch. It died ever so little because obviously you have some kind of tampering once after the initial release. But then it just like kept growing and growing and growing and growing and growing, growing. It hasn't really stopped. It's kind of went like up and down a little bit there, but it's always went in like an upwards direction for the most part. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, even the last 3 months, they've actually had growth as far as how many people have been playing the game. Not as much growth as of recently, but it is growth. And they also mentioned that they had about an overall, I believe, 10 or 20% growth, which was mostly in part by the Switch version. Because, of course, the Switch version ended up adding a lot of players into the player base. Of course, it's on a completely different version of the game, but, you know, all the people that play on Switch. Also, it's kind of funny, because Gems of War is a free-to-play game and has a pretty decent chat system within the game, there's actually some people on Switch that, mostly kids, that use Gems of War as a chat system for the Switch, which I find really, really funny, because there's not any kind of way to really do it integrated into the game. And with how good the lobby system is, or, you know, it's not like exceptionally good, but as far as, you know, just being able to chat with people, it works. And there's actually people who will literally use Gems of War on Switch just for the chat system, which I find really hilarious. If you ever go to global on there, it's actually kind of obvious. Because they'll like talk about games that aren't even Gems of War or anything. I'll go throw that down. Not sure if it's still like that, though. I know it was a couple months back, and when it launched and everything. Okay, we'll go get that, and then just throw Scorpius down. The Gems of War tagline. It works. Pretty much. And any bugs are just surprise mechanics. Until they get fixed. Okay, we'll go get Mountain Everywhere. And just kill it up. Come on, where's all of our good chest drops? We haven't gotten anything good. No Anus and no Nyshas tonight. Also, we finally got enough Anus to upgrade, what's his name? We finally got enough Anus to upgrade Yagway to two upgrades. So he's at silver right now. You don't know what to focus on. You're coming up to level 700. You've got all your kingdoms to level 10. Any advice on where to go from here? So at that point is generally the time you try looking for a better guild if you're not happy with your current guild. Though if you're already happy with your current guild and the progress that they're making, which is ideally all tasks completed. But if you're happy with your guild now, then stay with it. If not, try finding one that does get all tasks done per week, reaching legendary tasks every single week. So basically completing all 12 of the 6. And from there, you want to go and probably focus on metal grinding, if you haven't already. Global metal bonuses, particularly that early in the game, will help out quite a decent amount. So if you don't already have, for example, 3 Yasmins, 3 Cedrics, 3 Arachnias, a Anu metal, stuff like that are very, very helpful. Obviously, you don't need to go and do the whole Nysha grind like we're doing right now. But you do want to make sure at minimum you have 3 of every single one of epic rarity and below. And at least have 1 medal of Anu that's completed out for that 20% bonus. Because those bonuses, the earlier you are in the game, the more beneficial they are. They're beneficial throughout the entire game, but obviously when your stats are a bit lower, they have higher impact, since this is an overall higher percent of increase compared to later in the game when your stats are higher, or it's not as big of a percent increase. You also get a lot of gold while doing so. And if you don't have any option for it, just use Mangus Titan with support troops. Like either Apothecary or Queen Jezebel or Leprechaun or anything to make it not die or feed it a lot of mana. Or to give it some skulls like Skeleton or something. Or even Keeper of Souls or something else that you might have. like a Mang Apothecary Keeper Souls combo or something. Depends what you have as options. But at that level range, you should be able to take Explorer level 12. It might not be as quick as how you see us doing it, but you'll still be able to get it done. Probably at 1 per minute, if not quicker. As far as the battles time. There's so many misclicks right there, wow. Which token do you get the most? Cedric has the highest drop rate on 12. As far as which one's the most useful, that really just depends on what you're going to be using as your team. Because every single one can be useful. The armor can be useful, the life can be useful, the 20% mana starts, the Cedric. So I feel like I use the Cedrics the least ever since they've been nerfed. The nerf that they did just made them, I don't know, it just doesn't seem worth bringing them out most of the time. Unless you desperately need to not be frozen. Like you're using a loop team that needs to 100% not be frozen, then you could use like triple of them. But more often than not, I feel like the Cedrics are kind of useless in the current state of the game. But all the stat-related ones in the 20% mana start are really useful. What do you think the worst reward spawn for a gnome? It's mostly those 20 jewels off a jewel gnome. Jewel gnome in general is the absolute worst gnome in the game. Other than that, it's probably some of the drops that the normal gnome has. While he does have some pretty decent drops, he has some pretty underwhelming ones, like 2 minor trait stones, or 100 souls, and 2 diamonds. All those are pretty low. Though 2 diamonds to some people might still be an okay reward compared to some of them. But he has some of the worst drops, as well as Jewel Gnome having a good majority of the worst drops. Almost the entire drop table of Jewel Gnome is useless. Especially to me, because I don't need anything it has. Not a single drop is useful off it other than Volky. And Volky, of course, every gnome drops, so it's not special to it in any way. Okay, we made ups for some loot. We got an Anu, which gives us another badge. So we're starting to make our progress back for that. Feels like we got so many Anus this weekend compared to normal. It's like our 10th Anu, it feels like. It's anywhere from our 8th to 10th Anu this weekend. It's definitely way above average, it feels like, the number we've been getting. I don't ever recall getting that many Anus. You kept getting him and his 2 minor trait stones last night. Really annoying. Yeah, it can be quite frustrating. Hello, Sam! Welcome. Okay, I'll get a Scorpius. And down it goes. Okay, what do we need here? We'll just take that for now to get our poison, get our guaranteed poison. Hopefully to full mana, then Scorpius, then Mountain, then Scorpius with a good enough lucky Cascade. Not lucky enough. Leprechaun will have to carry the rest of the mana. And then Scorpius it down. Yeah, it was something I considered prior to Iron Gut ever coming out using Cauldron on him. The main reason I don't use Cauldron on him is after his first Devour in most game modes, he's going to already have full Devour rate. So I find it better just to loop his mana rather than going and trying to increase his attack. You'll notice that essentially every single Iron Gut team I ever make does not use an attack booster. And that's mostly because him getting a Devour is his attack booster. And while it might take him a cast or 2 or even 3 to go and get that Devour, I find it better to loop the mana more so than trying to feed him attack. Also, 1000 Glory, very nice. Best drop of any gnome that isn't a Volky. As far as the normal gnomes are concerned, obviously Cedric has some better drops, but as far as the normal ones, that's the best drop that isn't a Volky. Throw that down. We get our, actually we'll grab that for now. And just throw it into full mana off the Cascade. Nice, don't even need to do anything. And that just takes it out. Oh, we got that for now. Get our other mountain going. What team is that, Mike? Unfortunately, I cannot tell by just the numbers on what that team is. I'm pretty sure no one has them all memorized, because there's no point in doing so. I'll throw that down for now and just kill it out. Ooh, nice. Come on, give us your 4 Vault key. I mean, your 4 Vault keys. I wish your 4 gem keys and your Vault key are the 2 main ones we want to see. And he's dead already. Did we get it? Ah, 500 souls. It's one of his worst drops. Not absolute worst, but it's pretty close to it. Soul Gnome's worst drop is more souls than that. I find it really weird that his amount of soul drop is way worse than that of Soul Gnome. Yeah, his diamond drops are way better than Jewel Gnome, which is supposed to be the best way to get diamonds from a gnome, yet it's not. How's my day been going? Pretty well. I was a little bit sick earlier. Oh, so that's something else I ended up doing today. My mom really liked the fondue place we went to a couple weeks ago, and she ended up getting her own fondue thing, and she messed around with it tonight. So she's still experimenting with that. It came out okay. Biggest issue with it was too much of the broth stock thing, and it ended up making it almost like a puddle. It was kind of funny because we had a bit of cheese left over, and it almost looked like a pizza, a little mini pizza, because it all clumped together. We're probably doing chocolate next. We'll probably do that for Thanksgiving, actually. Have it as our dessert for Thanksgiving, like a big thing of melted chocolate with the stuff to dip it in. Because chocolate will be a lot easier to not mess up. Whereas trying to make like a, she tried doing an artichoke thing because we both like artichoke dip. So she tried making an artichoke one, and it would taste good. The problem is the consistency of it was like watery. It was almost more like a soup than a dip. Which is somewhat worked because we were doing stuff like broccoli and stuff in it. Like that kind of worked, but for bread it just kind of made it soggy. And it was kind of weird. But it was good for a first try. It was fun. I'll go throw that down. Grab our mountain everywhere. Have I ever sworn on my videos? No, I never swear. Which is good because YouTube demonetizes it like crazy. But no, I would naturally don't ever. What do we even need here? Get our other thing going. Anyways, get our brown, wherever that might be, and then mountain wall. Come on, there we go. I need to see if I can get the Joy-Cons working again at some point. I'm not sure why they just like magically stopped working. However, I haven't tried, you know what? I haven't tried a single time to hook them up to this computer. Hold up. Hold up, 1 second. I didn't think about that. Where's Bluetooth devices? We gotta go try something real quick. Oh, wrong keyboard. Fail. Let me see. Hold up. Bluetooth devices and settings. I want to go add another Bluetooth device. 1 second. We're testing this now. How do I get out of here? Oy. Oh, we gotta test this. Let's see, will you pick this up as a normal controller? Joy-Con right? Well, it picks it up as the right term. says connected. It says mouse, keyboards, and pens. That might work. We'll find out. So it's doing something. I'm not sure if the inputs are gonna work though. Oh, yes. Okay, that's weird. Why was it not working on my other thing then? Hold up. It's time to go crazy quick. Nice. We haven't been able to use this for like a month for whatever reason. But let's see. So now we should be able to go and quick cast, which is very beneficial because it saves about half a second per cast, which over the course of a long period of time ends up saving a lot of time. Oh, it does do that weird glitch though on that screen. Yet another billion small glitches that don't really mean much, but start adding up. There's like a few dozen glitches. I forgot about that one. There's a lot of controller-related glitches, if you're not careful, that they don't normally test because they don't use controllers. That one I can understand a little bit more. But still, given that they have 3 console versions, they should probably test with controllers. And most people on the PC mobile beta, or I mean on the PC beta, don't really test with controllers, I don't think. Yeah, this helps speed it up a lot. Also, I love this controller because you can fit it in one hand, so you can do mouse in one hand and do the Joy-Con in the other. The Joy-Cons might be very weird, very small controllers, but there's some things that they do very well. And something like this, it actually works absolutely perfect for, oddly enough. Yeah, you can already see the increase in speed. It's like absurdly quick. It's really nice. And unlike most controllers that you would need like 2 hands for, a Joy-Con is so small that it's one of only a few one-handed controllers. Which works perfectly when using it with a mouse. Since you just have one hand on mouse, one hand on controller. And this will help us not misclick anymore, because it's impossible to misclick now, since the input is automatic. Or not automatic, we just click the A button. But it makes it so we don't have to go and click over here. Instead, all we do is just click A button on the controller and it does it. So it saves us having to drag the mouse over there as well as possibly misclicking. Since it's 0% misclick rate, it's quite literally impossible to misclick with this. Oh, I should have went first, Scorpius there. Come on, end your turn. Do you think what is happening with the FTC? Oh yeah, I have been following some of that. Not a lot. It seems like a gigantic mess, and I've been trying not to worry about it. But, yeah, I don't know what they're thinking. Hopefully it doesn't become too big of an issue. I don't know. I don't feel like my content is ever targeted towards kids, ever. Also, based on YouTube's demographics thing, I have so few people. Whoa, we just got a double Anu. Seriously, what's with all the Anus this weekend? But we have like 0% people under 18 watching us. It's such a small percent of people that it doesn't even register as a 0.1%. Of course, there are some people that are under 18 that do watch us, but it is so small. You're 12. Well, there's some of that percent then. What troops do you recommend crafting in the Soulforge? Definitely Iron Gut. Iron Gut's like the biggest first priority. Ferrous Raw is also good to get because you'll need it for soul farming. Also, Dragon Soul is pretty much the only legend in the game that's worth crafting. just because it's a really important troupe that is associated with soul farming. Yeah, the average age of someone watching my channel, I believe, is around 40 to 45 or so, if you were to average it out. Like, the biggest section, I believe, is 25 to 40, I believe it was, or was it 35 to 50? I think it was around 35 to 50 was the biggest section. What do we grab here? Take that for now and just get a explosion. Then we get a mountain going. And then we just kill it out with double Scorpius and be good to go. Do we need anything else? Don't think so. Get that. And then mount it all down. Yeah, I just turned 25 this month. But even my 18 to 25 is actually surprisingly low. Like the core millennial demographic. Actually, I believe some of that's starting to be not millennial anymore. Like the really low number range of that. It's Gen X or whatever the thing is after that. I think it was Gen X, right? I believe it is. I forget when the cutoff is for that, age-wise. Okay, boomer. That joke. Let's see. Get a mountain going. They're all playing Pokemon. Yeah, I'm still trying to finish up Pokédex on it. It's really, really hard. It's kind of like Gems of War, in that it's pretty much exactly Gems of War, the way that they have it set up on Pokemon this gen, and probably a good majority of generations. It's really easy to get like 80 to 90% of it completed, but like that last 10% is so ridiculously hard to get. And Pokemon Sword and Shield set up the exact same way. Like, I'm almost 3/4 the way done, but the last 1/4 is going to be harder than the first 300 probably. Similar to how it is in Gems of War. The last 10% in Gems of War is harder than the prior 90%. Because that means you mostly have Mythics to craft and Zugoff if you're missing that last 10%. Oh, it's starting to do that weird visual glitch again. Where the text keeps doing it. I guess that's a controller-related glitch, because I haven't been seeing it when we've been using mouse only. Where the text kind of like collapses in on itself and makes it look all weird. Almost like it's some kind of different language. It's not even a different language. It looks like it's trying to be, but it's just like a bunch of mushed up like symbols. What is the best low-level troupe? There's a couple. Leprechaun, he's ultra rare with Empower into Explosion. He's won the top 10 in the entire game. Sunbird and Rowan, particularly Rowan, since you get it for free from Forest of Thorns. While Epic isn't necessarily extremely low level, you get it for free automatically just from doing a quest line. So it is even easier to get than some ultra rares just because you get it for free just for doing a half-hour quest line, not even, probably even quicker than that. But she's pretty good because she has really high damage output. You even see me using her daily for Adventure Board and sometimes a few other things. But she's really, really good at stacking a lot of damage. Not to mention the Tokens of Guard ends up giving you additional armor. And you can end up increasing her damage output by 48 just by having 3 Tokens of Guard. And 3 Tokens of Guard aren't too hard to get. Or sorry, did I say 3 Tokens of Guard? I meant 3 Medals of Guard, which is, what, 27 Tokens of Guard. But that's not too hard to get, even earlier on in the game. You can probably get it in a week, or definitely a few weeks. But that ends up increasing her damage output by 48 damage, which is really, really high. Obviously, even more so early in the game, where the 48 damage means a lot more. But even later in the game, I still use it occasionally. because it's good at wiping out content if you're looking for quick sweeps. Yeah, Leprechaun's probably the best overall low-level troop. If you're looking for like absolute overall best value, Leprechaun's just absurdly good. It's empowered into almost a full board clear. It gets to explode every green on the board, while simultaneously being able to do that with Empower. It might have a little bit less explosions earlier on in the game, but it still has a pretty substantial amount, and enough to get a pretty hefty amount of mana accumulation every single time you use it. Which makes it synergize with basically every single troop in the entire game. There's almost nothing Leprechaun doesn't work with. And he also gives you some free passive gold. And it's just some free resources on top of everything else. It's almost like what Valkyrie used to be. Valkyrie, back when it was the only way to get souls in the game, at a decent rate, everyone would use it in pretty much every single team. And that's kind of like what Leprechaun is. You don't necessarily need it for, obviously, his gold. It's just a little bit extra. But you use him just because he can be used for every single team. And I don't use him in literally every team, obviously, but because he's not the best option for absolutely everything. But he's definitely a solid option for anything in the game. Doesn't matter if it's a skull spam team or a cast-oriented team or something, some kind of other combination of anything. It's gonna work in it. It might not be the best option, but it will work. Oh, why did I do that? I keep casting that when we already have Scorpius ready. Hey, this is so much smoother with controller. I forgot how smooth this is. It's almost like broken smooth. It goes so quick. I love it. Unfortunately, there isn't any way to do this with hotkeys. It's actually bannable if you end up making like a macro or something for it. If you end up doing it through like keyboard mouse related means. I'm not sure how bad their or how good their detection thing is on it though. But when you do it with controller, it is 100% allowed. So if you try doing the same thing with like mouse and keyboard, it's for whatever reason not allowed. It's kind of weird how they currently have it. So do be careful not to do it with mouse or keyboard. Because if you try doing something where it'll you set something up to automatically hit a portion of the screen or like rebind it to a controller function, it's I believe would pick up on the ban system for the game. You could probably appeal it and just explain what happened. But it could potentially lead to a temporary ban. But doing it with an actual controller doesn't. And personally, I just find a Joy-Con controller to work out best for it. Though it's pretty expensive if you don't already have one, though. Joy-Con, getting a pair of Joy-Con controllers is like 60, 70 bucks. They are absurdly expensive. For what they are. But they do a lot. It's probably the most creative controller Nintendo has ever done so far. And while some people find it to be too small, it's the small form factor that's actually very beneficial for doing things like this, because we can just constantly, it's really light in the hand, and you know, you can just press it for the minimum inputs that you need. Also, I don't have all of them set up, but we can even quick cast all of our abilities with all the other buttons and bind them up using Steam if we wanted to. I personally just use the A button because more often than not, that's the only one you need. However, you could rebind everything so that you can quick cast all your spells. I just don't have it bound to do so at the moment, just to make sure I don't accidentally misclick them, since I'm mostly just using the A input anyways. I see you, Sam. Have a good weekend. Best of luck with the Gnome event if you're going to be grinding any for it. Yeah, this game is very, very easy to bot. We still have bot problems in the game too. They've been okay about like getting rid of them throughout the history of the game, but it's always been a partial issue in the background. The fact that so many people try botting in this game, just because of how easy it would be to implement it for a game like this. I feel like treasure hunt bots are the most common though, because it's somewhere where they won't really ever be found as easily. And I know some bots in the past used to manipulate what treasures you would actually get. So they would hack the game in a way where they could basically make the chests in treasure hunt give whatever. So they could make a bronze coin worth like a whole vault key, or 100 gems, or 1,000 gems, or you know, anything like that. And they could just manipulate the values. But of course, stuff like that they can pretty easily find these days. But I feel like if any part of the game is botted the most, it's probably treasure hunt. Though there has been some really interesting, it was really interesting to see how, what's it called? How, broken, what's her name? Not Astral Spirit. Is it Astral Spirit? I think it's Astral Spirit. No. What is that one, yellow blue from Wild Plains? Not Wild Plains, from, gosh, I can't even remember his name now. From the Vinian Fields. This was actually one of the most broken troops ever added to the game for botting. It's really interesting to see how a bot uses it. Where's their name? It's, gosh, I'm just gonna type in power. Yeah, her, Astral Spirit. Okay, I was right when I said Astral Spirit. But, this thing is probably the most broken thing in the entire game for botting. And I don't have footage of it anymore, I don't think. But, actually, you know what? I might still have footage of it on a channel. I need to go double check. But, yeah, bots are really, really interesting when they use Astral Spirit, because they can set up the bot to use this Empower into a remove to do the absolute most perfect move. And they just do Astral Spirit move into perfect Astral Spirit move into perfect Astral Spirit move, and they can just keep going forever and just feed something else with mana. It's really, really broken. Like, I'm actually surprised they didn't like completely overhaul that troop just so it wouldn't be as good for botting. Because that troop is like the best thing to use for botting. From what I've seen bots do so far. That was a while ago, though. I'm not sure if they still use that or if they have a better method these days with some kind of other thing that might be broken. Because, of course, a bot can check every single possible option on the board and then take the most perfect option. Let's see. Take that for now. Grab a thing right over there. Get Scorpius. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Bots, some of the bots that people have made for this game are actually better than the AI for this game, which I find kind of funny. Like, I haven't seen anyone using a bot that has worse AI than the game itself. It's pretty funny to see two AIs fight each other. What do we grab here? We'll take that for now. And get the Leprechaun. What Delve troop should you focus on getting first? That really depends on what your goal is. If you're close to 5-star Darkstone, I would say go do All-Seeing Eye, because that'll help you get 5-star Darkstone, which is a whole magic bonus, which is really, really useful. Other than that, another pretty good one to go for is go to Amithrax, because Truffle is one of the best looping troops in the entire game. Actually, scratch that. It is quite literally the best looping option in the entire game. It's one of the only options in the game, or at least the most consistent option, that has an infinite loop, which is something that they removed from the game a while back, but Truffle ended up bringing it back into the game. But it is very broken. I'm actually surprised they still haven't tweaked it. They might never tweak it. If so, they're definitely going to start power creeping if that's the new balance of what they're aiming for. Yeah, goblins have always been broken. Throughout the entire history of this game, at least one goblin has been pretty much meta, and to some capacity. There's almost no goblin that was never meta. I think Goblin King is the only goblin that has never been meta at any point within the history of the game. That and Bugbear, or whatever his name is. That one brown yellow that one brown green that increases based on their HP. But every other goblin in the entire game has been completely broken at some point within the game. As in quite literally the best, most overpowered troop by a mile. And right now that's currently Iron Gut and Truffle. Iron Gut because it can solo any basically any piece of content in the game. You just curse them and then devour spam them. Really good for upscaling higher level content like delves and stuff like that, and Tower of Doom. And of course Truffle's the other one because it can infinitely loop its own cast. So the most recent one they added hasn't ever been too broken, because they ended up nerfing him immediately. So I guess in that regard it kind of was, but they ended up nerfing him within a day. Similar to how they did Fizzbang. Fizzbang was nerfed within a day. Her original ability was explode all the greens while also doing a random stat. And now they changed it so it does either or instead of both for her ability. And they nerfed the new green guy by increasing his mana and decreasing the amount of explosion. Oh yeah, all the gnomes are useless because they're not really supposed to be good. The only gnome that's good is Cedric. And his ability itself isn't even good. It's just, he's just used for his 100% gold bonus. That's what makes him good. If it wasn't for that, he'd be completely dead content. But the 100% gold bonus makes him really, really viable. Similar to how Ferris Ra is viable. Ferris Ra, you very rarely use for its ability. You just use it for its soul gain. Okay, I'll grab that, get our thing down there, and that should be enough to go kill it out. Come on, where are all the Nyshas at? Give us one this stream, please. Come on, chest. Something good, something good. 2 tokens of Cedric. Once again. Rip. Every single time it feels like. Oh yeah, Queen Zachi's pretty good. Queen Zachi is basically a combination. It's like a mix between Infernus and, well, it's basically an Infernus. It's basically a common or you know, legendary, but you know, those legends off of delves are a little bit easier to get. But it's basically a lower rarity version of Infernus. Not exactly, but that's like the closest equivalent. I feel like it feels like is like a brown yellow Infernus that does AoE damage and has a brown storm condition. Oh, wait, was it brown storm condition or just a storm? I forget. Though you generally do want to use brown storm with it. You easily just feed her with brown, either with the other harpy that does a brown storm or with Mountain Crusher. Are normally the 2 better ways of feeding her anyway, so even if it's not specifically brown storm boost ratio, you normally actually do use brown to be able to feed mana into her. So far, getting troops in delves is the basic idea, or the basic idea. Farm something like thieves and then use shards on location that has the character you want. Yes, that's exactly what you should be doing. You just sit in somewhere like City of Thieves at level 1 on 1x multiplier. You keep doing that every single day, and then you keep throwing your shards at all the various locations. As far as where you use the treasure, you should be using your treasure on the one that you're farming on a daily basis until you get it to 100, and then get all the other ones to quality 10, and then get all the other ones to 100. Or, you know, when I say 100, I mean the horde level, not the delve level. The one that you specifically upgrade that gives you higher stats with your treasure. But the treasury that you get from any of the factions can be used on any of the factions. And the ones that you specifically use your shards on are whatever ones you need the troops from. So, for example, if you want to go get a truffle, you do Amethyrax. If you want to go get Darkstone to 5 stars, you go do All-Seeing Eye. If you want to go get 50% mana start for your elementals like Rowan, you go do Sunken Fleet and stuff like that. You basically just target down the troops that you want until you get all of them. And you should try aiming for getting all of them eventually first, before you try getting any of them maxed. The only exception to that might be wanting to get truffles maxed. But, I don't know, you can make that judgment on your own if you feel like you're going to be using it a lot. Because truffles do gain quite a bit of a benefit from being upgraded. I think they gain like 1 or 2 additional magic from doing so. Which doesn't seem like a lot, but due to how quickly they can recast, it's quite a bit of extra damage. Plus they get a little bit more durability to not die with, which is always good. What does 5-star mean? Kingdoms have a star level. They have a kingdom level and a star level. What you did by getting them to level 10 is the kingdom level. However, they also have a star level. The star level is the one underneath the kingdom level. The one that specifically has those stars. And you have to do a bunch of tasks in order to do that. I believe in order to get a 5-star, you need to have 1 legend from the kingdom, 8 troops leveled to some amounts, and 7 of them traded or something like that. But well, the thing I'm referring to is if you go click on any kingdom, let's say, for example, Pensvale. If we just click on Pensvale, this one right over here where it says power level is what I'm referring to whenever I say star level. And it tells you a bunch of things that you need to do to get to the next one. Yours will be way easier than what you see here. But you do whatever they say, and then you go to the next star level, and you rinse and repeat. And getting to 5 stars is very useful, because at 5 stars you get +1 kingdom skill bonus, and this will end up adding up to be a lot of stats. It's the same reason you go and get level 10 on all the kingdoms, because level 10, of course, ends up giving you a lot of stats off of the extra stat that you get for each of them. But you can also end up getting even more of those extra stats by doing the power level, in which you get a whole extra one at 5. And later on in the game, though you don't normally need to worry about this until late game, you can also get an additional one off of 10. Also, eventually, it's absurdly late into the game, we're eventually going to have level 20s, and then they're probably going to expand them to level 30s as well. But as it currently stands, I believe the highest starred kingdom is 17 or 18 right now, and it'll probably be a while before we get that far. But yeah, that's what I'm referring to with 5-star. 5-star and 10-star are the two most relevant locations to reach, because 5 stars +1 kingdom bonus, and 10 stars 2 extra kingdom bonus. Also, up to this point is where you've pretty much maxed it out, because you have quite a bit of diminishing returns, anything beyond 10. So your first 10 stars is a good majority of the area you want to aim for. The only problem with specifically 10 stars is 10 star itself requires you to own a mythic from the kingdom, which can be a little bit hard. But anyways, let's keep going. Back to Arskea. Keep getting the grind down. If anyone still has any other questions, let me know. Peasant is actually a really fun troop. I wish it had viable traits. The premise of Peasant is really nice from a board control perspective. I absolutely love using an arena. I know some people consider it like one of the worst troops in the game, but it is actually really, really, really good. At least in arena context. Obviously, using it in a normal battle would be bad. But I like it has a unique, like, little 3 destroy. It has some board control manipulation that you can do that no other troop in the entire game can do, which is a lot of fun to mess with. Obviously, overall, it's not viable for anything. But, it's a fun troop if you've never messed around with his board control style. There's never any point where it's viable other than arena, though. Arena is quite literally the only location you can get away with it. Dwarven Miner used to be really useless, but they did buff it about 2 years ago to a point that made it usable. Way back in the day, he used to only destroy 1 gem. He used to only destroy 1 gem for 6 mana cost way back in the day. Then they lowered it to 1 gem for 3 mana cost, which was also useless. But now I believe it's 9 mana cost, but it destroys multiple browns now. Also has a chance of giving a lot of gold, like max gold. I think it's like 25% or 20% chance to give max gold. I think it's 25% or something like that, to give like 100 gold, which is max, of course, for a battle. So if you're targeting troops in a Delve city, you should focus on leveling Horde level over quality first. They're the same thing. Horde level and quality level are the same thing. Well, not the same thing in the sense that they are literally the same thing, but the same thing in that you use the same method to get them both up. Putting treasure into a kingdom would increase both your quality level and your horde level. How much your horde level increases is based on a % chance, how much your quality level increases based on a % chance, whereas the horde level is based on a static amount of EXP that keeps moving up. But they're both going to move up as you upgrade it. But you'll get quality 10 prior to getting level 100 in any kingdom. I mean, in any faction. Unless you get absurdly lucky somehow. Unlucky, I mean. But normally, you end up getting quality 10 by approximately 65 to 80, as far as how far the faction is leveled as its horde level. I mean, should you be saving to 100% chance for quality, or use it to get a level up? Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I would say normally you wait for 100%. There are some situations where you might go for it otherwise. But if you can easily do the delve, like you're completing out the delve in a timely fashion and you're not dying ever, like you have a 100% win rate on it every single day when you're doing it, if that's your current state, which should be if you're just spamming 20s, then I would say wait for 100% and just do it 100% at a time, doing the exact minimum for 100%. Gosh, we are not getting too many good drops. We got a double Anu this stream. But other than that, that was like the only thing we got that was particularly relevant. Oh, it feels so nice using controller again. I missed using this thing. I'm not sure why it wasn't working on my other computer for so long. Hopefully it keeps working on this computer. I'm not sure what made it stop working on the other one. But it worked instantly when I tried connecting it to this one. Like, I had no problems at all. You saw it. We connected it within like 30 seconds. It went instantly without it doing anything weird. And then, yeah, it was already working. Nice. Went really smooth this time. Hopefully it does that every time on this computer. Hello, Captain! Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hope all has been well. That text glitch is still weird, though. I really need to start remembering that list and go mention it to them again. All those really small visual glitches that just keep adding up to be like a billion different things. Oh wait, why is that not bringing up chat? Why is that bringing up options? There it is. There we go. The gray screen option. Let's see. Go throw down the Scorpius. It's almost like screensaver mode. I haven't accidentally changed my home kingdom for a while. However, I have on accident a few times recently. Or not too recently, but it can happen. I don't feel like I misclick it too often. With controller, I feel like it'd be really easy too if you're playing on like PS4, Switch, or Xbox One. But with mouse, it's a lot harder to accidentally do it. But if you're playing with controller, it is ultra easy. Because if you spam click A to get into a kingdom, you will misclick to change your home kingdom with how it's currently set up on controller. So I'm just using mouse navigation whenever I'm going through those menus, so I don't ever accidentally do that for the most part. PS4 like 5 times a day, wow. Yeah, I don't know why they made it the very first option. It's really weird. Because if the game lags for like a second longer than you thought, or if it doesn't lag, and you thought it would lag, and then you just like click the A button, it's like, whoops, sorry, you just changed your home kingdom. Yeah, that must be really annoying. Does anyone use the Guardian troops? Occasionally. Humility is probably the most useful one, as well as Justice. The only two that generally don't get used is Sacrifice, and actually, I guess basically the Sacrifice. They all have like some kind of team that they can kind of be used for. Honor is mostly used for Guard's Avatar. Loyalty is not really used that much, but it can be an okay HP buff if you don't have other options. Sacrifice is generally considered the worst because it's just really hard to make work and just isn't worth it more often than not. But the three that are really viable is Courage, Justice, and Humility. Justice has a really, really strong boost ratio that it synergizes with freeze options in order to allow you to just skull spam like crazy while constantly boosting up. Because it has double the boost ratio of any of the other Guardian troops. And it's not that it has a double boost ratio, because it actually has the same boost ratio. However, it has two stats boosts rather than one. So you're basically gaining double the amount of stats into HP and attack, rather than simply doing one single stat. So it ends up getting a lot of boost ratio from the frozen enemies. It was meta for about a year and a half. Ever since they revamped Gem Spawn, it's not really worth using as much unless you have no other option. But you still have a freeze option to go with it. But it's still decently strong. Other than that, Courage is decent because it can do a lot of skull spam, and it can create Doom Skulls while also doing an attack buff, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the only troop in the entire game that both simultaneously creates Doom Skulls and attack buffs within a cast. Because if you cast it on a Doom Skull that's on the board, it will create Doom Skulls off its ability, a combination of red and Doom Skulls. I believe it's the only option in the game that does Doom Skulls plus attack buff currently, till they add one. Other than that, Humility is good because it can give you a lot of magic bonus. You normally put 1 or 2 humilities in first slots with a double yellow banner, especially if you're using 2 of them. And then you just feed them a bunch of mana. They can give you a bunch of magic. And even if you don't end up getting to cast magic, they have a final trait where they give your entire team 2 magic and 2 armor anytime they take HP damage. So you can simply just do that in order to you know, get a bunch of magic simply by them trying to kill you. Oh, we're not gonna poison yet. Well, so I should probably go do that pet before I forget, because that's definitely one I do not have all the copies of yet. I know 100% for sure. That's a relatively newer one. And by a relatively newer one, I think it was from about a year ago. That's still new as far as pets are concerned. Because so few pets come into the game. New ones, that is. That are non-cosmetic. Because the cosmetic ones don't matter if you end up getting upgraded. However, the non-cosmetic ones are pretty important. Like that knight there that does a knight bonus. Which makes sense. Do I have a video for optimal treasure hoard usage? Yes. I went over it, I believe, 2 months ago. It's still 100% relevant. Let me see. I could go find the video real quick. Let me see. Where's my YouTube section? Can I get to channel this way? No. What's the easiest way to get to my channel from this page? Let me click here. Go to my dashboard. I believe I can directly go to the channel this way. Yeah, view channel. Not sure why YouTube makes it so difficult. Let's see. What would I search for that? I believe just typing in the word Gems of War Treasure would bring it up, actually. Where's my search option? Search. Wait, why didn't it work? What on earth is this thing doing? I'm trying to get to this. Search. Why is YouTube not wanting to do this? YouTube, why are you being so weird? Let me search my own channel. Fine, I'll just go do, I'll just do a YouTube search and not search my own channel then. Also, why is it lagging so much? Other computers, stop being so bad. There we go. Let's see. What am I looking for? I'm looking for Gems of War Treasure. Oh, hopefully it doesn't bring up treasure map stuff. No, the treasure map. Oh, gosh. I forget what video I ended up doing it on. So I forget what key terms to put on it. I probably didn't put enough good key terms on it. Let me see. What if we did, horde level? How to level treasure. Here we go. It was in this video. I kind of combined it with another video. I should probably do one that's kind of separated. But here is a video that goes over it. Let me get rid of the timestamp for a specific time start. Copy. But there you guys go. Here's the video that goes over it. I believe it was halfway through. The beginning of it was just going over Sunken Fleet specifically. But, let me see. There you guys go. That should be it. And there's the video that goes over optimal usage for the treasure stuff. If you were curious. I believe it was about midway through the video. Should probably do one separated that's literally just going over it. But it's everything I went over in that video is still 100% applicable to today. That wasn't too long ago. That was when Sunken Fleet came out. I believe Sunken Fleet came out in July. And it's still 100% relevant right now. Anyways, let's go do the pet before I forget. Definitely don't want to miss this. Oh, we only need 8 more copies. I thought we needed way more copies than that, but good. We're almost there. Get our free Diabolist EXP. Did the stream just mini crash? It didn't look like it went down on my end. If it did, it went down for like half a second. Yeah, we haven't had any kind of crashes lately for, like, since we switched over to the new format. We did, like, for that one day, but that's because I didn't optimize a couple of the settings I forgot to change. And there's still a few settings and still stuff I've been modifying with this computer until I get everything right. Also, I still need to go download actual security, because right now I'm just using the free trial thing off of the Norton thing. Normally I just use AVG and Malwarebytes, the combination of the two. The free versions of them. Grab that. And get all of it destroyed. Let's go hunt this pet down. And then we'll probably go for one more chest. But I think we need to go through 2 more sets to get 1 more chest, because the next one won't end up doing enough. Grab the last little bit of mana. Oh, it didn't surge. Unfortunate, but that should be full. And it was keyed again. US catchers would drop for you. You used up all your event keys in hopes to getting him, but wasn't able to. Yeah, you have to be careful with that. It's not always necessarily a good thing to keep going and overkilling it on event weeks when a mythic is in a drop table. Generally, I would advise stopping, unless you're like all the way in late game or end game. But more often than not, I would advise stopping opening any more event keys for a kingdom, regardless of how much you want the mythic, if you have upgraded everything other than the mythic to mythic. If every single thing in the kingdom is upgraded to mythic, including the legends, and the only thing you still need left is the mythic, you should stop using event keys. Unless you're in a situation where you basically have more resources than you know what to do with. Because in those kind of situations, you're just wasting your drops. Because 100% of your drops that isn't a mythic is just going to waste. And you shouldn't do event keys in that situation. At that point, you should just try getting that kingdom in Soulforge, and then move on to another kingdom that you don't have everything mythic in, and then do the same thing. You keep opening event keys until you get everything in the kingdom mythic, and then if you haven't gotten the mythic by then, just do it in Soulforge, and just keep doing that, rinse and repeat for every other kingdom in the game. I do not advise opening event keys when the only drop you need is the mythic itself, because you're wasting like 99.9% of your drops, essentially. Or completely wasting it if you don't get a mythic out of it. Because all the other drops you're getting, you already have upgraded. Okay, 2 more to go. Unfortunately, this does not one-shot on these battles. Even if we gave it the extra magic, it still is not enough damage to one-shot. So it would help, but it wouldn't be enough. Because right there, even if we had 12 additional magic, as you can see, that would not have killed his last slot. Even with the full 12 extra magic. Which kingdoms would be best for event keys if you have no mythics? Zacian, which is the Goblin Kingdom. Kedar, oddly enough, because picking up Keeper of Souls is pretty nice. And you would end up picking up a Fair Shra along the way, hopefully, the mythic itself. Oh no, because you have to put into consideration the overall value of the kingdom too. Though there are quite a few of them that are worth throwing event keys, but isn't worth going for the mythic. For example, Shen Tang and Bright Forest are extremely good to go for Yagway and Queen Titania. However, neither of them have a mythic that you'd want to go out of your way for. But you would want to go for their legends. And there's quite a few kingdoms that are kind of like that, where the legend you might not want to seek out specifically, but the I mean, the mythic you might not want to try seeking out, but you would want to seek out the legends if you didn't already have them. I normally go over in every Monday video if they're viable or not. This week was somewhat good. The only problem is Ketris is the only viable drop. The rest of the drop table this week is pretty bad. And next week is... Actually, I don't know what next week's event is. I didn't double check it yet. They'll post the thing tomorrow, of course, publicly. If people didn't already check the spoiler thread. Okay, we got all of our things, right? Also, why is it taking so long to reload back in? Go, go, go. There we go. Yeah, I already claimed it all. Just making sure. Oh yeah, how many more copies do we need? I'm gonna go back there for like a billion of time. We still need 6 more copies. We'll get it eventually. But anyways, let's go clear out one more set. Also, we almost got back to 25,000 gems. Nice. I did want to get past 25,000 gems this week. Also, ideally wanted to try to get to 100 vault keys. How close are we? 96. Come on, we need 4 more vault keys between today and tomorrow. I don't think we'll be able to make it, but hopefully we'll. Yeah, let's go through this 2 more times, get 1 more chest, and then we'll probably end out for now. So if anyone still has any other questions, do let me know. But of course, we'll be back tomorrow at the same time as always, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hour and a half prior to now tomorrow. As we do every night. No Pokemon stream tomorrow, though. Next Pokemon stream won't be till Tuesday. Probably Tuesday at noon. When you do the auto ascension thing, does it auto ascend your treasure hoard units? I actually do not know. I believe the answer is no. However, I would not advise auto ascending. Well, actually, I don't know. I guess you could. I'm just always paranoid that the game will do it incorrectly. So I always manually do each one at a time. Whenever I try ascending stuff, I never click the auto ascend button. I don't know, that's just me personally though. Just to make sure it doesn't do something incorrectly. Okay, it doesn't. Yeah, I personally never click the button. Just because I'm paranoid that it might not work properly. Even though it probably does. Also, even if you do use it, you don't know exactly what you're upgrading. I like to know exactly each of the troops that are getting upgraded, because then you can go and immediately level them as well, assuming you have the souls to do so. Can we get an extra turn anywheres? Come on. We need it to get rolling. There we go. That didn't take too long. I hate when it takes like almost half a minute just to get the extra turn. When you can do a whole battle in that time. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. When is next faction? I believe it's 2 weeks from now. I forget the exact day off the top of my head. And I don't have the link open for it at the moment. I should start keeping that open. I did before, but I keep not doing it when I've been using a new format. I don't have the link for it open at the moment. But I believe it was 2 weeks from now. I believe it's class next Friday and then faction the 2 Fridays after that. If I'm not mistaken. Unless I'm remembering incorrectly. And of course this weekend was Vault events. And still is, so definitely get on that grind. It's the rest of today and all day tomorrow. Up until Monday reset at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, auto ascend doesn't automatically level them, which is what I was mentioning with it, why I do it one at a time as well, so that you can guarantee get the ones leveled that you're actually ascending. Because nothing's worse than like ascending a troop, thinking it's leveled, and then for like days or weeks or even months using it at a lower level than max. I don't think I've ever done that before, but I could see myself doing it if I did it by auto means, but I always do it manually. Because when you're normally looking at the card, it's not necessarily easy to tell if it's leveled or not. The only way you can check is if you, click on it and see if that's a 20. Or whatever its max ascension is. Common is 15, rare 16, 17 is, just keeps going up by 1 until you reach Mythic every single time. But there we go. And we got an Arachnia badge for our final little thing there. But anyways, does anyone else have any other questions? Otherwise, we are going to be heading out for now. And as I mentioned, we'll be back about 2 hours prior to now tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Which important set of kingdoms, of home kingdoms, power 12 or level 15? I'm not sure what you're asking, but the best home kingdom is Whitehelm because it's pure glory, and glory relative to the amount that it gives is the best kingdom to have. But yeah, you should always have Whitehelm as your home kingdom, just because it's pure glory, and pure glory is the best of these 3 loots relative to the amount that it gives. Also, glory has the highest amount of gem value as well, relative to those resources, which is also the reason why it is pretty useful. For example, that 77 glory right there is worth approximately 3 to 4 gems, whereas the amount of gold doing the exact same thing in some place like KZL is worth around not even 1 gem, and the souls have no inherent gem value, but they're still useful, of course. But yeah, glory's always the best one to go for. Because that's not even 1 gem. That's not even like half a gem worth of gold. Even if you quadrupled that, that's not even 1 gem worth of gold. 1 gem worth of gold is 20,000 gold. 20,000 gold is worth about 1 gem. Whereas 20 glory is worth about 1 gem. Meaning Whitehelm's tribute has the highest overall gem value, being around 3 to 4 gems per tribute or so. And if that gets doubled, it's actually 6 to 8 gem value or so per thing. But anyways, guys, did I miss any other questions? What would be the first 3 troops a newer player should be saving orbs for? I wouldn't go for Sunbird in the current state of the game. I would say in the current state of the game, the best few you should probably go for as a newer player is Iron Gut once you finally craft it. Rowan, because it'll be your main damage source. And I'm not sure on a third that you would consistently use enough to justify upgrading it with an Orb of Ascension. But no, I wouldn't say Sunbird is one in the current state of the game. You can still do it if you wanted to. It's not as big of a priority as Rowan now in the current state, though. But yeah, Rowan, Iron Gut, and I'm not really sure what the third would be, to be honest. There's a lot that you could do. It's just to waste a whole orb on it is to rush it along is might not necessarily be worth it. Oh wait, why did I say Iron Gut? I forgot. You can't even ascend to Iron Gut. But yeah, I would definitely say Rowan is your first priority as far as upgrading. I'm not really sure what else though in the current state of the game, because we have to keep in mind it keeps changing so much that that's like the only consistent one I could really say at the moment. I feel like 5.5.0 that's already going to change. But I would just put into Rowan and kind of save them. For the most part, you should be saving all of them anyways, because you're going to get all of them maxed way before you end up... like, you're eventually going to get them maxed. You're basically just obfuscating the rate at which you get it, but you're eventually going to have them all upgraded at around the same time. Like, you're going to constantly keep getting a trickle of all the resources over time and eventually get them upgraded. And personally, I don't find it useful for using orbs in early game. The only time I'd really say you might want to do it is, for example, on good legends. Because you're doing, like, Yagway to Mythic, Queen Titania to Mythic, maybe even Dragon Soul to Mythic if you use a lot, though it doesn't gain as much of a benefit. Doing stuff like any of those kind of things, particularly Yagway, Queen Titania, end up gaining probably the biggest benefit from their Ascension, due to how much extra damage output they get. No, I wouldn't put it into the Pan's Veil thing. I personally, it's good for extremely early game, but Rowan in the current state of the game, ever since they added medals, I feel like has basically made Elwyn useless. As far as the current early game meta, the best thing to do in early game is get your Rowan from Forest of Thorns, try to get yourself 5 more copies somehow, get that thing ascended to Mythic. Though you don't even need to do that. Just basically go get a copy of Rowan for free from Forest of Thorns, fully level it, and then go grind Explore and on level 1 difficulty and try to get yourself 3 medals of guard. And then you just boosted her damage by 48, which is just an absurd amount of damage in early game. And then boom, you just ran through like all of early game with one single troop, just with a bunch of support troops, using 3 medals of guard, which give your entire team 24 armor, but gives your Rowan 48 damage, assuming it doesn't get hit, which is a very, very high amount of damage, particularly at early game to mid game. And I even still use it, as you guys see, for whenever I do like adventure board and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, I'll be heading out for now. Thank you so much for stopping by. And yeah, we'll be back soon. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. About 2 hours prior to now. We'll be back then, messing around with whatever the new event stuff is, or, you know, going over all the new event stuff. Hopefully I can get my browser working. I wasn't able to get it working earlier, but worst comes to worst, I could always just get screenshots of it, or do it by some other means. I'm not sure. But we'll be able to show it somehow, nonetheless. And have it up on screen for when we go and just go overview it real quick, and then we'll have it for the Monday video, going over everything in game and mentioning Soulforge and all the normal stuff that we do for a Monday video and a bunch of team builds. But anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend with the Gnome Grind, and we'll be back tomorrow night. Goodbye, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend, and best of luck with the grind. Goodbye, everyone.